Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to an episode of Coffees for Closers. It's Matt and Pat and Pat and Matt.
Yep.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the challenge. I want to know some stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Ex-Special Forces sniper turned entrepreneur. I've scaled numerous businesses to 8 figures. My name is Matt Ryder. This is my podcast, and I'm telling you to put that coffee down. We're talking about the 7th level challenge.
Okay.
We've signed up over 300 people, I think, so far.
So how many of those have you done?
I think that was our 6th.
Yeah. So tell me about like the first one and why you chose that way. Like, where did that idea come from? Actually, before that, what is the challenge? What
challenge
what's the
is
idea of it?
we do like it's always a slightly different, I guess, theme.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've had, the first one was terrible. It was the unsellable challenge. I'll go into the first one and why it was stupid and terrible. But
Okay.
it was like, it's almost like the worse things goes, the more you learn.
Okay.
So you end up like, all the mistakes you make compound into like doing things really well. Mm-hmm. Then we've done like fix your script. We've done objection handling ones. We've done like, I know it's always a different theme, but the last 2 have been around scripting.
Right.
Just different words for scripting. And essentially we have we started off with 3 days and now we do 5 days.
Wow.
5-day event. It's about anywhere from 90 minutes to 3 hours a day. We go over, it's very tactical. I think one of the big things that we do that most other people don't do in their challenge is they do like mindset woo-woo stuff. Mm-hmm. We give like tons of tactical information.
Real world, actually tangible, use this. Like, so go a step back from that. How do you feel that? How do you advertise it on Facebook? You use your own email list? How's it?
Yeah, so I mean, our email list is getting up to 700,000 now.
Right.
So we have an organic component and we have a paid component. We usually spend anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000 on the ads.
Oof,
in about
snap-a-do.
Yeah, in about we start advertising like maybe 10 days out.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So you're dropping more than 10 grand a day on ads.
Yeah, but we test it. We test like 7 different hooks about 2 months before.
Okay.
So we start testing to see which hook gets the best response.
So you're doing that with ads for other things or for the challenge?
For the challenge, but there's no challenge.
Right.
So we just do like small bits of ad spend in different areas and market segments on different hooks. And then from there, like say we put 20 or 30 grand towards that like months before. We get the hook and then we build a challenge around the hook that works.
Okay, perfect.
And then from there, like it might be 14 days out, but I think it's anywhere from 7 to 14 days out. And then we kind of titrate the spend towards the end. So like the first few days is a bit slower, and then like 7 days out, it's banging $20,000-$30,000 a day.
Boom.
Just like that. When the media buying is all kind of dialed in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
on Facebook.
Mainly Facebook.
Yeah.
Because if we do it on we could get more people if we did it on other ones, but then like the business would have to stop. Like we work with Serhnant, right? And like they do like a quarterly product launch, but the problem that they have, which I've told them, so it's not like it's a secret, is that they put everything towards the product launch. So everything else stops. So they get this fake revenue. So they get this huge bump from but they get a big bump from this one thing.
But they're losing everything else.
They're not selling anything for like 3 weeks.
Right.
Whereas like our sales don't slow down, they speed up.
Right.
Because we're advertising stuff. So we only do Meta. Actually, we only do Facebook. We don't even do Instagram.
Okay.
Because Instagram like feeds book calls. YouTube feeds book calls. All the other stuff that we do. TikTok. We did do TikTok ads for this one, I think, for this challenge. Because TikTok ads they're cheap but not super effective. If that makes sense. Like the ROI isn't massive, but it's still worth doing. So it's mainly Facebook.
Okay.
And then so we have an organic and a paid thing. Organic is going to be like our emails and our Facebook group and like segmenting people into no shows, no sales, and all that kind of like cancellations, reschedules, and then try and get them in. Mm-hmm. And then so we got about 2,000 organic registrations.
Okay.
None of them turned up.
Oh, really?
None of them. Like it was really odd. I think we might have had 2,900. I think Marco said we had like 2,975 organic registrations, and like 17 showed up.
No shit.
Yeah. So it's like opposite of what we thought.
Yeah.
So that's a good lesson because we can figure out what did we fuck up there. Like we messed up something.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is yet.
Didn't show the value somehow.
But we have an after action review. Like, or maybe we can just segment all the people who've already done 3 challenges and like, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
You know, and they kind of figured it out. They just didn't come, but we'll figure out why. And then we can hopefully get half of them to come. You know?
Yeah.
And then we had about 14,000 paid through paid advertising.
Okay.
Apply. And then,
So you've got the email list. You do your organic. You've got your paid. You've got 20,000 registrations, something like that. What'd you have?
16,000.
17,000
like that. Yeah.
Okay. So then, in the meantime, in the background, you guys have prepped the whole thing, and it's going to go for 90 minutes to 3 hours a day. And there's no pitching during it, is there? It's all like.
We start pitching day 3.
Right. Okay. So, but the first couple of days is
all tactical.
Yeah. And just delivering value. My question is, do you have many people who have already bought NEPQ turning up for those challenges?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like it's a lot of it's foundational NEPQ stuff. So it's just a lot of them like him.
Good revision, they're in the system.
A lot of them I think stay to watch us pitch.
Right.
We pitch day 3. We clean up 20 to 30% of everyone who comes on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that's a pretty big skill set in itself.
Yeah.
But there's tons of seeding the whole way through it.
Yeah.
Tons of it. And me and Jeremy have like the different roles and different things that we have to do throughout it, but it's all scripted. So it's a 196 page script.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a very thought out exercise, and we have a really good system. I won't go into the whole system, but we have a really good system as to how to get people to turn up and show up. And so like we had 3,500 on day 1. Like unique people come in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone stays for the whole time.
Sure.
So at any one time, we had about 2,200, 2,100, something like that at any one time.
Okay.
But if you look at like unique signings, there's about 3,500.
Okay.
So that's not bad.
From
16, 17,000,
yeah, okay.
which is not bad.
Yeah.
Like the most you're going to get is like 20%. We haven't been able to sort of really crack that, but I haven't heard anyone else of doing it either.
Yeah.
Like if you have a small one, like that's organic, you'll get like your first couple, you'll get a higher rate. But as soon as you introduce paid ads, and I'm talking like everyone who signs in gets a couple of calls.
Right.
Like every single person will be called multiple times to confirm their registration.
Really?
Yep.
All 16,000 people?
Yep. Called multiple times.
Wow.
Yeah. Called, texted, emailed, spoken to.
Okay.
Sent free stuff. Like,
so no doubt we'll get to like how much made from it or the ballpark kind of figure in sales.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Finishes at 5 p.m. tonight.
But that number, when we talk about it, has to be held against, there's a big machine that gets those people in. Like you just said, you spent a couple $100,000 in ads, plus you have the work power, like the employees, to call 16,000 people multiple times.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of employees. That's a lot of cost.
Yeah, which is why we keep all the other stuff going.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we just focused on that, then yes, we would get more from the challenge, but we would then do nothing else.
Yeah.
So like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So we have 2 metrics of revenue. We have baseline and impact. And impact is the challenges and the master classes and the events, and baseline is just like our day-to-day sales.
And so when you do an impact thing, it shouldn't affect baseline. That's your plan?
No, it shouldn't affect it. We thought it would affect it leading up. Turned out it doesn't. It helps it. And then afterwards you see a bump. So instead of like the methodology that we have, it's instead of trying to like grow month on month, we try and grow quarter on quarter, or we try and grow based on impact event. So like we'll try and keep like our baseline revenue, say it's at whatever, I don't know, like say it's at $1,000, right? If you're at $1,000, you just stay at $1,000. So your sales and marketing machine is designed to make that money, and your delivery machine is designed to make that money. And then every 3 months or 4 months, we do this big event where we introduce a shitload of new people into the ecosystem. And like tons of people watch the replays. Like one of our like the day, 2 replay had 7,000 views.
Okay.
So people who don't come still watch the replays.
Yeah.
Because it's like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
If you're PST, it's 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And if you're EST, it's 6 p.m.
Right.
There's no good time to do it.
Yeah.
Like
that, I think that's the issue with any kind of live event that for a worldwide product is you're like, okay, like if we do it in the afternoon on the East Coast of the US, then that's sort of mid-morning here. It's a little bit earlier in the afternoon on the West Coast, but the UK is a wipe-off at that point.
It's a write-off, yeah.
Like it's really hard to find a timing for any of those kinds of things.
So we have the replays, and we're making sales from the replays at the moment.
Perfect.
So like that works. We've made 42 sales today.
And where do you put those replays? Are they available
Put
to
them
people?
in Wistia.
Right, okay.
And then, so because in Wistia, we can track everything.
That's right. Yeah, okay. So that's why you do it there.
Yeah. So we send them out via email. But next time, we're going to put that in a funnel.
Okay.
With like payment links and stuff like that in there. So like we just send out like emails with links in there. So
okay, so if someone watches that replay now, they have to put themselves into the sales funnel.
They'd have to go to like getanypq.com. So getanypq.com is what we use.
Did you say that again?
Getanypq.com. It'll be, by the time this is out, it'll be dead link.
Oh, okay.
It won't be dead. It'll just take them to it'll take them to the VSL.
You're paying full price now.
Yeah. No, it just takes them to a VSL to book a call.
Right, okay.
But then like getanypq.com during challenges is transformed into a sales page.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, but next time you're thinking putting that into a whole funnel itself so they could just buy off of watching the replay without having to speak to anyone, just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, most people buy without speaking to someone. So, like in terms of that, like for the challenges, we do have the sales team that takes calls and we book people through. I can go through that process. And then we have the finance team that's still working with people.
Right.
So like the cart closes midnight PST, which is 5 p.m. today, our time, as we record this. But we should get like financing deals through and people who have calls booked in and working stuff out probably until the end of the week.
And you told me this the other day. This is super interesting to me, is that it's a discounted rate from the challenge and it goes to full price at 5 p.m. today.
Oh yeah, just no.
And that's legit.
Yeah, no one is allowed to sell it. As soon as that clock ticks over, nobody is allowed to sell it. And if the sales team sells it, they get no comms.
Wow. And so legit, if someone's a minute late, it's an actual cutoff. And if people think that that's like false pricing,
no, it's gone.
Like, false urgency, whatever, it's not. It's legit.
No. Yeah.
There aren't many people that do that, right? Like that would be.
What's the point of having it? You know? What's the point of having a deadline? Like the initial deadline we say is fake. Like we say it's like we change the deadline constantly throughout it.
Okay.
But the actual deadline is going to be Sunday midnight PST, right? Like that's the deadline. And then the moment that changes over, Berlin changes the link.
Right.
It's already pre-scheduled. Like it's already done.
Yeah.
So yeah, because like they have to go on there and realize, oh shit, I missed out.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, you pay full price now. And if they go onto a sales call, like they won't be allowed. As a salesperson sells it, sweet no comms.
Wow.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Nothing pisses me off more than when I click a sales
discount
link and there's a timer counting down. I'm like, fuck off with your timer.
How about I just hit refresh?
Yeah, I have a refresh
See what
button.
happens.
Exactly. I do that every time.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Makes me not want to buy it. That actually
For sure.
causes true sales resistance on me because I do get the like, oh, limited time. And then I'm like, hang on.
Hang on a minute.
I've been duped.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
6-minute apps? That's insane.
So tell us a little bit about like the challenges and your learning process as you've been through those because, we should get to the end actually. How many sales that you can talk about? Like how effective has this been? What's your ROI on this?
We always aim for like the KPI was 550 collected from the challenge. And I think we'll hit that. I think we'll hit that.
Okay.
So I think we're at over 300 because it's like the challenge has a wave effect, right? So like I said, we have the baseline and the impact. What we've found is that the baseline impact and then it goes down, but doesn't go back down all the way to the initial baseline, and the baseline kind of raises up because of that.
Nice.
So one of the reasons is we get recurrings from the challenge because people 3-pay it. Most people 1-pay it. Some people 3-pay it. It's more expensive to 3-pay it. It's a 3,000 instead of 2,493. So they do a 3-pay, but then from there, like the upsells that we get are awesome. So we go because we only sell 2.0. And then on day 5, Jeremy repitches Inner Circle.
Okay.
I mean, we had like 10 or 15 people buy just straight Inner Circle, which is great. So they pay an additional 12,000 and they get Inner Circle is usually 18, but they got it for 15.
Perfect.
Essentially, right? Because they get the 2.0 for 2.5, and then it's like another 12.5, and that's 15. So it's still a discount, and we credit them the 2.0, and then they buy it.
Nice.
Which is great, because like they're already there, and we don't pay comms on it, and we didn't have to pay for a book a call. So like the discount is made up for all that anyway. Yeah. Because on an Inner Circle sale, we'd pay a couple grand in comms regardless.
Sure.
So, and then a bunch of people who like all the buyers get pitched in a circle, but a lot of them don't want to do in a circle. They want to do 3.0. So then those people go into sales calls next week for 3.0.
Perfect.
And then we'll just straight bump sell them.
You keep ramping it up.
Ramping it up.
Something that I suppose everybody listening to this is in sales and marketing or whatever, and they realize the numbers. But when you told me it was like 30% conversion, and I was like, oh, good for you. And then you sort of put that in perspective.
Yeah, I think Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins do 3 or 4.
Yeah. So like I didn't realize that that's astronomical to convert.
Yeah, they're crazy. Like I think on this one we'll do in the 20s.
Okay.
Right, but all said and done, we'll do in the 20s of conversion, which is like ludicrous crazy towns for virtual stage pitching. The reason is it's like because like there's a big difference I think between people who spend their own money.
Yeah.
And like so me, Marco, and Jeremy we're all business partners, and so we're all like and sort of and Anthony's not like an equity owner, but he treats everything like it's his own money. Like that's a very it's a very good thing about him. And so we aim for efficiency, not just gross numbers, because we could just spend more and get 50,000 people into it. Like we could probably do that. You know, we spend $500,000. Like, well, why not? You know, or do 2 challenges at once in different countries. But what we're looking for is efficiency. So we have a look at every single like client journey and bucket and everything. It's like how do we get an extra 2% from every single metric? And I think it must be that a lot of people, they just go up there and pitch.
Yeah.
You know, like they just go out there and you know, but like we can't really do that because like we're a pretty decent sized country, but we're not huge. Like Tony Robbins is huge. So he gets 80, 90,000 people and they close, you know, like they close a few hundred.
Yeah.
Or even 1,000. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, but like there must be so many holes in what they're doing. Or maybe it just doesn't translate. Like that could be it too. But we do much better than like Russell Brunson because we're in his mastermind, so we know their numbers. And again, their numbers are bigger than ours in terms of revenue and people, but not crazy bigger. They're not doing hundreds. They're doing like, you know, a couple times bigger than us in terms of raw numbers, like 50,000 people in a challenge. But they'll convert like 3-5%. You know, they're super happy with that.
Yeah.
But for us, we really want to convert in the 20s.
Wow.
So like I would rather keep it a little bit smaller and have it grow slowly.
Yeah.
But like be able to kind of just keep all the variables. And so like on this day we had a fucking disaster day one. Somebody didn't upgrade the Zoom. So we had somebody.
That fucking somebody.
Didn't upgrade the Zoom, so we only had
sickness is for people listening, watching, we're sick.
Yeah.
We have the sickness. This is what happens when you have children.
And go home and do a cold plunge, that'll make it better.
It won't.
Probably make it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had like we only had the Zoom registered for 500 people. And like we thought you could just click a button, upgrade it. Turns out it's enterprise, so we have to call someone. So we ended up starting at 35 minutes late, which is obviously a huge deal. We still had 3,500 people on. We would have had 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people on probably.
Wow.
Day one, if we had not done that, how many people are going to wait around? If 3,500 decided that they were going to wait around for 35 minutes, there's a lot more that didn't.
Yeah.
You'd almost think more than not, right?
Yeah.
So who knows what we could have done? But what that led to was like a scramble. And then we thought of more creative ways of how to get everyone back in. So then like, oh, okay, now we have a playbook of all the creative things that we can do. So now we just make that part of the SOP. And that's what we've done on every single one. So, and this is the same as any sales process. Like that's how you look at it. So on the first one, we hired some dude to help us. Fucking one of the worst contractor experiences I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, like the challenge guy was supposed to be a guru. Everything was like, knowing what I know now about challenges, boobery. Sheer boobery.
Okay.
On all.
Give me some examples of what like things that just
like
didn't
just
work.
some of the numbers were bullshit. Like, oh, we get 50% at least sign up to our VIP. It's like I don't believe it. Like because we are the only people that have a team calling everyone. We're the only ones that do that I know of. Right. This guy has none of that, and like we can barely crack like 5%. Because like that, it's just a VIP, like it's just not going to happen, right? We have people like selling it like that, and then when they wouldn't provide us with any actual like evidence of the stats, and then it was like they had these landing page, they built the landing pages for us, and they converted fucking terribly, like terrible, astronomical lead costs for registration of a challenge. Our guys rebuilt them into being way simpler, way less pretty, and like they're 10 times more effective. The hook was the unsellable sales challenge. It was a terrible hook. It made no sense. Unsellable sales challenge. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
There's no problem.
Yeah.
Like, so that was shit. And then just like we were sort of promised for like 100K, like a done for you challenge, and none of it was done for you. And like I had extreme words with these people about like just you don't have nothing for us to follow. Like it was supposed to be like, hey, this is the exact things that we do. Here's all the files. Here's everything that we do. This is how you media buy everything, right? Because at that stage when we first started, we'd never done high spend media buying. So we got a high spend media buyer in, right? Turns out the guy wasn't very good and our guys were better.
Okay.
You know, so like there was
he just puts another zero.
Oh, terrible. Bro, the lead cost that we had on the first one, basically everyone that showed up was organic.
Wow.
So we did our own organic push, and that was everyone. We had a couple thousand registrations, and we had like 900 people. We were fucking amazed, right? 900 people, but they were all organic. And we made money out of it. We did really well. I don't remember what we did, but we did well. Well basically, the goal is always to get a 3x return of ad spend.
Okay.
That's always the goal. And the second one, like we just took all the mistakes that we made in the first one, and we're like, well, let's do it again, but let's fix it so it wasn't the unsellable challenge. It was a better name.
The sellable challenge.
The sellable, yeah. The buy our shit challenge. And then from there, we kept with 3 days, and then the pitch has always been good, so we've never really had to change the pitch, which is good. But
well, I mean, that's your bread and butter. That's the sales part of it.
Exactly.
Right? Like if you fuck that, I'd be disappointed in you.
Yeah, like the challenge part, like me and Jeremy doing that has always been pretty solid. It's gotten better and better and better every time just because we're more used to it. Like we don't rehearse it anymore. We just do it. Whereas we used to rehearse it all the time. And like where we put all the horns and everything, all that stuff's scripted, you know? Like there's like anchoring of certain horns and certain emotions, and you know, Jeremy's just in his element in that. His fucking ability to pause and do everything.
There's a lot of, I mean, that is Jeremy's bread and butter, but that's like, there's a lot of behavioral manipulation in that, right?
Tons
like
of
you
it,
create a lot of conditioned responses to the horn that you use and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, and then like my job is to be like the real talk person and like to use like
talk that talk, Matt.
Yeah, it's like my job is to like connect with the audience emotionally.
Okay.
Right? While Jeremy does a lot of the like sort of foreshadowing stuff. What I do is my job is to get rid of think about it and time objections. That's really my job. And I do that through using like death frames and, you know, like all that shit, right? From like, I've been to more fucking funerals than weddings and all kinds of shit, right? You know? Yeah. So like all that about like being in the now and not waiting. And I tell stories and maybe have a little, you know, shed a tear or two, stuff like that, right? Be real vulnerable. Like that's my job. And Jeremy's job is to show sales mastery the whole way through and then get them to sort of build gaps. Like we have polls, all the polls are scripted out and are designed. Then like the poll results get sent to the sales team. Okay. It's got name, email, phone number, how much money they've lost not having these skills every year. Yeah, right. All that gets sent out. They start messaging people. Like everything is, and like that poll came from, I just randomly did it one time. Okay. So in the process, what we'll do is we'll just kind of come up with stuff as you do in the moment, and then you do it, and then it works, and you go, oh, okay, we'll put that in the script. Okay. There was one thing that I did this time, I can't remember what it is, but like it worked really well, and then I quickly put the reminder in the script and the time, and I was like, let's go back and watch that because that worked well. And then there was one time, a couple challenges ago, where I was like in Slack, and I could tell people had tons of questions, so I just told the sales team, I said, hey, everyone, give me your Zoom links, hop on Zoom now. So I created a Google Doc with everyone's Zoom link, and I just was answering questions in the Q&A box, sending everyone to Zoom links with salespeople, and they were selling them. So this time...
So they're leaving the challenge to go into a sales call. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And then we had the finance managers on there as well. So this time we had like a Zoom with like 10 sales reps in breakout rooms. Yeah, right. And then we had 3 receptionists. So you came into a Zoom room, and then from there they're like, hey, what's your question? Sweet, go speak to him. And they could see how many people were in each Zoom room. Wow. So if it's finance, go here. If it's sales, go here. Like, so it's like full, it's very organized.
And then how do you close those people? So like you've got the sales rep, he's got 10 people in the room. He's just handling finance, like objections. Yeah. And then like when someone goes, yeah, I would like to buy it.
Yeah. Fill out the link. Let me know when it's done.
Right. Okay. So they just get sent something. Yeah.
Yeah. They just get the link, and then the person the sales rep writes down the name, and then puts all the sales forms further, so they get comms for that. Yeah. Yeah. You know? Fucking lay down.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a...
Yeah, it's just like, hey, how long do I get access for? 12 months. Sweet. All right, boom, boom, purchase. Like, that's half of it, you know? Yeah. Then we have finance people who want financing. So Instead of, we used to just send out links to financing so they could apply, but now we have 2 finance managers, so we send them to them and they take them through the process. Because like 50% of like finance denials are like incorrect address compared to their ID.
Right. Okay. Just basic shit.
Just basic shit like that. So they make sure none of that happens, which should increase our conversion rate. But it'll decrease our initial sales, but increase the overall sales.
Okay.
Because like those people used to be able to just hop on the sales page, press the financing link, apply, and get approved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like now we're extending the process, adding some more friction, but in the thought that it would be for the greater good.
Yeah. Is that working, you reckon?
We've had 23 approved so far.
Okay.
We'll just have to wait probably to the end of the week, I would assume, because like they're still in still in financing. You know?
Yeah.
So seems to be working well so far, but just all those little things, like they're all just things that we've sort of added on each time because we've like had an idea here and there and then tried it and it's like, oh shit, that's worked or it hasn't worked. And then we figure it out and go from there. But like it's full time. It's crazy during it.
Yeah.
All the stuff that's going on in the background to make sure it's working well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get like, and then you onboard a few hundred people in the space of a couple of days and you got all the fuck around from having to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a salesperson's paradise. I mean, like...
It's a target-rich environment.
Oh, man, the amount of sales these guys are making right now is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is then just go into the channel and have a look at all the people buying 2.0 and then just call them. Hey, do you want 3.0?
And upgrade them.
Yeah, just call an upgrade.
Yeah.
So the guys are just doing that. And then, like, calling all the people who, like, were on the Zoom but didn't buy.
Okay.
And just calling them. Hey, what's going on?
And how do you allocate that? So you're like with the team of sales guys, that's just a free for all to that data and they can get in there and whoever's going to work the hardest can make the most money?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
There might be a better system that Kyle and Anthony have organized, but as far as I know, for that particular thing, it's just get after it.
Yeah, perfect.
You know, just go for it.
Yeah.
Stick in the middle and see who wins.
Do you, like how closely do you monitor the chat?
Oh, really close. So we have... we have me in the chat and I monitor it, and then we have 4 people, 4 to 6 people full time in the chat.
And so they're just
picking out
booting trolls and answering questions?
Yeah. So a lot of it's like just monitoring because like, you can turn it's good now because you didn't used to be able to do this, but now you can like just on the fly turn the chat to like hosts so that we can talk to everybody, but they can only talk to us. So what's happened in previous challenges, and this has happened a few times, and we did a good job of stopping it, is scammers run our challenge simultaneously. They'll stream our Zoom into their website and then drop their own payment links.
Wow.
I think they had like 300 or 400 people on last time. Right?
Man, there's some clever scammers in there.
Yeah, and so we found a lot of the scam sites, and then we were very specific. I would stop the challenge like every 45 minutes and go, if you are watching this on anything but Zoom, you are not in our challenge. You have to be on a Zoom call right now, and this is it. You know what I mean? If there's a border around us, because we knew what they had, it's not Zoom. And then last time, because I think Zoom didn't have the function last time, when we dropped links, scammers were dropping their own payment links.
Yeah.
Right? And so this time I was able to turn it so as soon as we started dropping links, people could comment, but only the host could see it. Yeah. So it stopped it straight away.
Man, do you reckon there's like a scammers podcast where there's 2 guys sitting at a table now being like, oh, this dude, Matt, he runs these fucking incredible challenges. If you can get a link into there, he does such a good job of selling it. Like,
it's just,
if you can manage to get, I mean, he closes like 30%. If you can't snap up 1% of that, you're a terrible scammer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably. But yeah, so it's crazy, man. Like the amount of like stuff they go through. But now that we have more control over it, the next one I think we're going to try and do on Zoom events.
Okay.
So you can have the people with their cameras on.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's now you're going full Tony Robbins style.
Jeremy just wants to do the whole
Tony
Robbins.
He wants a room, 360-degree screen.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Wants to immerse himself in the love.
Yeah. Just a videographer following him around.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Why not?
Yeah. That'll be, so we'll give it, if we can get it done in time.
Yeah.
We just took the office next door so we can fit it out for that.
Okay.
Did that exact thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
360-degree screen.
Yeah. Oh, baby. But yeah, so that'll be cool. I actually reckon a lot of that's fake. I've seen a few, and I've seen like people with like 5 screens.
Yeah.
And the pattern is the same the whole way.
Oh, really?
Because it's a little bit blurred, right? but you can see the pattern is the same of lights and darks and the squares.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, those are the same people.
Yeah, right.
Like that.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
It is sort of curious being able to see into the lives of that many people. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the challenges they do, I think they bring out the best and worst of me.
mm-hmm.
I get very Team Thanos towards the end of it.
Okay.
I just fucking snap you fuckers into oblivion.
How come?
Just because, like, you know, people, it frustrates me when the same question is asked hundreds of times, but been very clearly answered tens of times.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's an interesting insight into people, because like we talk the whole time about how it works for every industry, and we take like, there's tons of testimonials and we talk about it and we give like 50 different examples for whatever industries. It's like, but I sell. It's like, fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Like, read, like, not even between the lines. Just listen to the words that we've said.
Yeah.
Oh, I want an example for real estate agents. Okay, here's an example of real estate. Oh no, that guy works in a different market.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's one in a different market. Oh no, but that guy's got brown hair and I've got blonde hair. It's like, well, it just seems you're looking for excuses, champ.
That's an interesting thing. Some people just can't generalize. Mate, the worst example I ever had of that, I was teaching this event and this lady had this really specific problem with this dog going into a crate. And I spent 20 minutes like going through the whole process. Everyone was like, wow, you know, writing notes, all good. As soon as I finish, this guy goes, I have the exact same problem, but the dog won't go onto a mat. Can you explain to me how to fix that? And I just said, replace the word crate with mat and everything will be the same. And he was like, no, but it's a mat. So like I need and I was like, no, it's not. It's exactly the same. And I actually said to the guy, I was like, there's no point, because if you don't see the crossover, you're not going to be able to do it anyway. And he was like, okay. It's like, because like if you can't generalize at all, like you're not going to be able to take my explanation and make it reality. And surely it's the same with like the sales stuff. You're probably better off not having those people buy, because it's a waste of fucking money to them anyway. They're only going to slow everything down. Exactly.
And it's like, you know, it sounds really bad, but like 50% of people are just straight mouth breathing morons. Like straight up. And that's generous, like 50%. You know, it's true. Yeah. And it's true, you know, and like it was actually funny. I had a realization today because I had a few fucking people message me, and I don't check my DMs very often, but I checked it and they're like, I'm very disappointed in your course and you will refund me. And I said, well, you know, I've logged on and turns out you've only watched the welcome video. So which part of the welcome video was so disappointing?
Yeah.
And I was like, and you also bought the NEPQ Black Book of questions 9 months ago, logged in once for 17 seconds and logged out.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like a you thing, champ.
Yeah.
But I've refunded you and blocked you from everything. So good luck with your future endeavors. Because you're just a fuckwit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, you know, and I had another lady call and be like, I bought a year and a half ago and we've been reaching out to you constantly and no one's gotten back. I said, yeah, sweet. Just give me one example of one channel where you reached out and I'll happily fix it, because like that's a hole in what we have. I was like, but I've tracked your phone number and I've tracked your socials and I've tracked your email and I can see every form of correspondence. And it seems like you no-showed one of our people like 2 weeks ago. So what happened? Mm-hmm. Is that we didn't get back, or like, just give me one example so I can fix your problem? I was like, exactly. Like, we're very organized.
Yeah.
Like, just tell me you want an extension because you forgot and got lazy.
Yeah, just don't be a dick.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. If you're going to give me a sob story about why I should help you, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are really organized these days. Like, we track everything. So it's like, if someone comes to me, I'll just be like, are you sure that's the angle you want to take?
But I think,
just want to tell the truth.
I think very often people don't realize that, you know, time is money. And so, like, when people come to you with a problem, if they present the problem well and it's easy to solve, even if it doesn't make you money, fixing it quickly is worth your while. Yeah. The same, like, I find that, I'm sure it's the same here, is when someone says, hey, I haven't had time to get through the content. Can I get an extension? Yes, here's a link.
Absolutely.
No payment. Here it is.
Yeah.
But when it's like, oh, and this, it's like, now you're making me check all this shit. Like, and that takes my time. I don't have time for that. So now you're paying for this extension that you're asking for because you made me check all this. But if you just said, hey, I need it, sure, here it is.
Yeah, I can give you a couple months. No drama.
Whatever.
No skin off our nose.
It's all I do is go copy, paste.
Yeah, but now you've lied to me.
Yeah, and cost me an hour to catch you in your lie. So now we're stuck.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real fuck around. But I just think that, like, you know, those challenges, like they're great, but they do like towards the end, I start to just hear the same things over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had this lady on day 5, like we split it so that Jeremy takes the buyers and pitch upsells, and then I take the non-buyers and I do like the last stitch. We did pretty well. We did pretty well of it. But I do like any PQ for dummies. I go, this is the breakdown, guys. This is what you've missed.
Hang on, you do the last. So people have said, no, I'm not buying it, and you get the last shot at doing that. You have to love that.
It's good. I don't mind that.
Like knowing you, that has to be the highlight of the whole thing. But that probably leaves a dirty taste in your mouth because you're like throwing Hail Marys the whole time, right? Like, and you're just like, if this works, cool. If it doesn't, we are where we are.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we closed 11 or 12 people, I think.
Okay.
In like an hour and a half. So it was good.
Yeah.
You know, and they all paid in full. So it was work. Last time we did it, we closed like 3. But it worked. It was really good.
So you closed 11 people at $2,500 each in the hour.
Yeah. In that hour. And so maybe
it's not a bad pay rate.
Maybe they bought afterwards, like whatever. But it was fun. But I had this lady come up, and I had this one guy come up, and he just started saying stuff. I go, "Have you got a question, bro?" Because I bring them up.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Oh," and he was telling me how NPQ would work, and he was like, "Oh, you know, we've been using it." I go, "But you haven't bought anything." So like I was like, "You just been watching free shit, so you don't really know what you're doing." He's like, "Oh no, I do." I go, "Well, good for you then." And he goes, start talking. I go, "Do you have a question, bro? Because there's 600 people here." He's like, "Oh, no." And I was like, fucking beat it. Like, people don't know how to handle when you're very honest with them. Especially, it's like, then go away. Like, good for you. I'm happy for you. Go and do your thing. Like, I don't care. And I think like the real talk helps to sign people. But I had this one lady come on, and she had like real specific. I said, your specific answer is too complex for me to answer for you because you're very new to sales. And it's a very complex answer. So what I'm going to do is give you a generalized answer of the things you can do to prevent it from happening. And so I did that, and then she goes, "Yeah, but what about?" And I was like, stop. And then she goes, "Okay, do you want the truth?" She goes, "Yes." And I go, "You're too lazy to implement what I've said, and here's why." And so I just said, like, this is what you're not doing. And if you haven't done those things, I have no interest in helping you because you're not helping yourself, and that's common sense. She goes, "Oh, okay." And I was like, so fucking start taking shit seriously or don't. Like, what do I care? I was like, I'm fine. You know, and like that's like the reality slap that most people need but don't want.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're not doing the basics. Like, what do I give a fuck?
That's right. I think that in teaching anyone anything, the step one is motivation to be the learner, right? Like, and if you don't have that, if you're not going to do the groundwork, then you're like, you have to develop that. And being a person who teaches skills, I can't give you that. Like, you need to go, that's a different kind of coach you need, because I'm just here to give you the hard skills, not to change you as a person.
Yeah. Have you ever thought that if you coach something, the customer is never right?
There you go. I haven't.
Customers are always right. I coach people, so it's very rarely the case.
I will now forever.
Yeah, no, I'm right. That's why they pay me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the challenges are great. Like, they have a huge influx of people. From a sales perspective, they're really interesting. What we're going to do next is I'm going to go and watch all the breakout rooms that were happening post and during pitch to see all the concerns they had. And then we'll boil that down to the most common concerns that we obviously haven't done a good enough job of answering. And we'll address
that into the script.
We'll address that in the script.
Yeah, genius.
So then we can do it again and get more people. And then, but I think for the next one, we'll aim for the same ad spend, but fix the issues that we had, and then hopefully get a higher return again. Perfect. Try and get a 4 or 5.
Is it something that you've ever considered offering as a service to? Never. How come?
Oh, like we briefly considered it.
Quickly decided.
It is consuming.
Yeah.
And I would have to run literally everything, and we'd have to write the pitch, and we'd have to pitch it.
Yeah.
So we might as well just do our own.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would I do all of that when I have to do all of it anyway for even 50% when I can just take 100? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't even do affiliates. Most people do challenges to affiliates because the affiliates want half. Fuck you, half.
Yeah. Well, you don't need it.
I don't need it. Yeah. So yeah, it's just such a huge process. It's like an undertaking of, 50 people.
Yeah. It's a huge machine.
Yeah, it's a monster of a thing. And then, like, the reason why ours works so well is, one, because we're very detailed about it. We have good marketing, but the sales is like, if they didn't have our sales, they wouldn't get our result.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to like replicate it, I'd be like, you can't.
Yeah, yeah.
you need all of us. You would need to borrow my sales team. You'd need to have Jeremy. We need to sit down. Like, we've written that script over the course. Like, we spent a couple of months writing for the first one, and then we've altered it every single time by 20%. So you're looking at, like, we'd have to do that same process. Okay.
So the punchline is this whole podcast has just been a big look at my big sales challenge, Dick, but I can't. Like, I can't help you. This isn't a product we provide. This isn't a service. We're just bragging.
Yeah. But you could take a lot from it.
You could imagine if you could, though, right?
You could try.
Well, I've been asked. Seems like the perfect place to leave it.
Yeah. Said no. All right, guys. If you like this content, like, subscribe, and hit us up on the next one. Bye.
Ciao.
Put that coffee down.